the heartbeat of the earth. The hands that give life its worth. With every step, they break new ground. Harvesting hope from all around. Through every season, through highs and lows. The untold journey, the heroes grow. Harvest heroes, rising strong. Building tomorrow all day long.
Hello guys, welcome to episode 4 of Harvest Hero Podcast. Thank you so much for all your messages you've been sending on WhatsApp, telling how this podcast is blessing you and how you're learning a lot from this podcast and from our leaders. Thank you. If you just joined this live, please make sure you write your name and where you're listening us from in the chat. We'd love to hear from you, and make sure you comment, guys, comment and share. And welcome once more to Harvest Hero Podcast. Without wasting time, let's go directly into the topic of today. Today we have a very special guest. I say very special girl, guys, you will love her. And without wasting time, let's welcome on board Dr. Renata. Dr. Renata, welcome to Harvest Hero.
Thank you.
So you just go directly into business. Let's start the interview. So the first question I want to ask you, Dr. Renata, can you tell us what's your name and tell us about what you do?
Okay, my name is Renata Anderson, and I am originally from Brazil, but I live in Oregon, in the US. And today I am a life coach. I am a planetary health coach. So, because I think I'm going to split to tell you a little bit more about that in the questions. Yeah.
Thank you so much. We'd love to hear more. So, our second question is: can you please share a little bit about your background and how you got started in the field of environment and health?
Well, I started my career as a nurse, working with indigenous communities in Amazon. And at that time, it was impossible for me to don't see the relationship between the environment, because I was in the middle of the big rainforest, and the impact on the epidemiology of the community. The epidemiology means why people die and why they get sick. So this relationship fascinated me, and that's where I dedicated my life. I did my master's and PhD in environmental and health, and I started to work with the humanitarian in different communities around the globe. And I also see this relationship between the environment and the health of the people.
Thank you so much for that. And our next question is: what inspired you to pursue your career in health and environment?
Well, I think in some way, I always have this curiosity as a kid. I used to look at my arms and see, oh my God, what is inside my arm? So, something about the human body always attract me, like, oh, does it function? It works? You know, you, and I think that's why. And then when I was more mature, I understand that. Uh, I love people, so it's good to take care of people, because I started my career as a pediatric nurse. So that was very inspiring for me, because kids are the future, no? So they are the most vulnerable people in our society, but in the same way, they bring some hope and so some beauty. And so I think that life inspired me to do this. Yeah.
Thank, thank you so much. And linked to that question, we want to know what keeps you motivated every day to keep going no matter. Because I had a chance and an opportunity to listen to your story from the Women Empowerment Podcast with Carol. What inspired you to keep going no matter all what happened?
Well, I think keep me continue. It's because the job is not done. So I think when you have this commitment with life, I think it's journey that's the most important, no? And understand that every day we can make a new day with a new beginning, with amazing people like you, Susie, around. So I think that is very inspiring. Understand that together we go stronger and more resilient, and it's and I also keep my mind and my heart open to learn. I think learn is a big motivation for me.
Thank you so much for that. And it's always a pleasure to meet you. You're such an inspiring woman. Guys, if you haven't listened to her story or heard her story, make sure you go to Empowering Women podcast in Carol YA and listen to this. It was wonderful. And our next question is, what was one of the biggest challenge you faced earlier on your journey in environment and health?
I think the biggest challenge for me was to bring this, because I live it in kind of two words, in the field of the humanitarian that's very dry and hard and beautiful in some way, but and the other um, environment that we can say is the academic world, very more protected, more hermetic. I think this was a big challenge for me to communicate in both ways, because I think when I was in the field, they treat me as an academic, and when I was in academia, they treat me, as a practitioner, and I was both. So it was always a challenge to connect these two words. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. And a lot of people are listening to us and they're facing that same challenge because they have maybe most of the time two domains they want to focus on, but they can't. But can you tell us, please, how did you overcome this challenge?
First of all, it's understanding the repertoire that the people that are listening to us have, to try to connect in the same language, because if we don't come from the same background, it's nice if we can adjust to understand what we are talking about. Otherwise, communication that's a key can be very hard. And so I think this is a challenge that it's worth to overcome, because these two words have to talk to each other. And today, with more polarizations and things like that, we need communication, effective communication, more than ever.
That is true. Effective communication, that's what we need more than ever. So our next question we have is, who or what was most influential in shaping your journey?
Sorry, can you say again?
Who was most influential in shaping your journey? Or what was most influential in shaping your journey in this field?
Wow, so many people around me, but I think, of course, in some way, my mother, because she was always telling me, depending on the challenging, depending on the threats, and depending on the difficulties, she was like, Renata, keep your focus. It was always, her advice, like, keep your focus, keep your focus. And I think this really made me more resilient, and, keep more, like, because sometimes when you are in a hard time in life, some people just stop. And when you understand that the focus is something that you cannot lose, I think that's, yeah, that really helped me in a lot of moments.
Thank you so much for sharing with us. And our next question is, what piece of advice did you wish you had when you started your journey in environment and health?
Wow, this is a great question. But I think a piece of advice was, don't be so stressed. You cannot control everything. Like, uh, trust the process and the journey, because that's the most important.
Wow, that is so powerful. Guys, trust the process and the journey because that is the most important. I love that phrase. Thank you for that. So our next question is, can you sorry, our next question is, what has been your proudest moment or biggest accomplishment so far?
Wow, I have so many. I was thinking my personal life, in my health life, in my career. I think there was different moments. Like, I already beat a cancer. That is a great achievement. If you want to survive, you have to, you
Okay.
know, take care of that. And I think a special day in my life was my marriage, my wedding day. That was really something beautiful. And a big accomplishment professionally, for any doubts, it was the project I lead on Niger in 2010, that where I worked with more than 250 community health agencies.
Wow.
And in the first month of the project, we did 50,000 uh, home visits.
Oh,
And that really changed the life expectancy on the infant in that area. So I think that was a big achievement. Yeah. So.
yes, that is amazing. That was a really great achievement, and we are happy of what of any big achievement you're doing in your life. And I know you are going to do more and more and more because I know you have a wonderful podcast. Can you tell us about the podcast? The not the podcast, the series of teaching you have that is ongoing right now. I think you have a series of teaching.
Yes. So I I just founded the Planetary Health Coalition. It's a moment we have those meetings once a week on Wednesdays, and it's great because the idea is to bring different teams from different specialists and practitioners to come to talk about planetary health and something else. So we already have specialists about indigenous communities in Amazon, and so also a specialist in oceans, a specialist in mental health and climate change. So today we have two specialists in global supply chain disruption and how does it impact on food distribution and disaster management. So the idea is to because I really believe that awareness is key when we prepare ourselves for disasters management and crisis that we are facing with climate change today. So, and my idea is to bring that an opportunity for people to ask questions to specialists without being in the university. So, how can we democratize the knowledge? That's my goal.
Wow, that is amazing, guys. I took part to one of the training, and these are the training you have to take part. In the description, guys, I will leave the link. It's the same link, Zoom link. I think every week I will leave the link. Make sure you get part, you take part in all of this discussion. It's just an opportunity and a great pleasure to be part of such training. Thank you so much for that. Our next question is: can you describe a pivotal moment in your life that really changed the trajectory of your career, or just changed your way of doing things?
Yeah, so I have the pleasure to introduce you to Reborn for the Forest. So this is my coaching program. So I'm a life coach, and dedicated all my career in academic, in humanitarian operations, in global health, and also in the humanitarian field. But 4 years ago, after lost my husband, I lost like everything, and my superpower of dreaming. I thought I was like, okay, I don't have any dreams anymore. And it was like a physiotherapy, that some people in an accident need to walk again. I have a process to learn how to dream again. And today I help people to dream again. I learned a lot of amazing tools that bring me to life again. And so I help people to dream, and with the planetary health perspective. So if you have dreams that it's good for you and good for your community and good for your planet,
That
let's
is
talk.
so it's amazing, guys. You always keep dreaming, no matter what happened. Keep dreaming. I always say to Dr. Renata, she's a perfect example of no matter what happened, keep dreaming. You can still do it, guys. Thank you so much for sharing your story, Dr. Renata. Our next question is: how do you stay ahead of innovations in your field?
Well, I think this coaching program also taught me how to think in a different way, and I think that's what brings innovation when you understand how to ask better questions. Because that's the key point. It's not the answers, but the questions. The quality of your life is the quality of the questions you ask. And I don't think innovations come if you just look at the past. So, and in planetary health, we need a lot of innovation. So we need to open our minds and our heart to ask better questions.
Thank you so much. Ask better questions to have better answers. Definitely. Thank you so much for that word. Our next question is: what are some common misconceptions people have about you or the work you do?
Hmm. That would be easier if you ask them, not me. But um, I'm not sure. Because I think because I wear different hats all the time. I think maybe people get a little bit confused, but I'm not sure how to answer this question. Yeah.
No problem. No problem. Thank you. I think you did answer the question by saying sometimes you have different hats and people cannot really link you to a specific domain because you are really good at a lot of things. And that is something great. That is something awesome. You don't have to focus or specialize yourself in a specific domain. If you have many talents in, let it be environment, let it be health, you can do both. That is amazing. So our last question is: what is next for you? Like, what are you currently working on, or what are you excited about in the future?
Well, my biggest dream is this planetary health evolution, because so the needs are there, and knowledge is key to preparedness. So I come from disaster management background, and it's so important to have preparedness, and we are just going to prepare ourselves if we are aware of our risks. No, so I think this is my vision. And also I would love to work with women and youth from different parts of the world, because I think if it's possible to dream together, I think every barrier can be, I think that's the key. So humanize people from different perspectives, different backgrounds, different nationalities, different knowledges, cultures, and see that we have much more in common than things that separate us. And
Thank
this is
you.
my message. Yeah.
Thank you so much, guys. We have much more in common than things have to separate us. So now, Dr. Renata has just given us a call to action. If you're a woman and you wish to work with her on this wonderful project she is working on, make sure you get in contact with her. All the details will be in the description, and make sure you connect, guys. We can do great things together than apart. Our last before we leave, our last question is, what piece of advice can you give to the listeners, to those that are listening to us today that want to go into environment and health domain?
Go, we need you. Yeah, I think it's a very big open opportunity to considering a career, and I think the needs are there, and we have to prepare ourselves to do our best. Yeah, go for it. It's a work.
She said, go for it, guys. You have to go for it. That is so amazing. Thank you so much, Dr. Renata, to be an amazing guest with us today. It is such a pleasure for us to have you. It was just amazing, amazing, amazing. And I'm sure a lot of people will be not only blessed but edified by the words that comes from your mouth, because you have a lot of word of wisdom. Thank you so much for joining us. And we have reached the end of our episode, guys. Guys, if you're just so joining us, please make sure you write your name and where you're listening us from in the chat. It was such a pleasure to have you guys. We reached at the end of this episode with our special guest, Dr. Renata. And if you want to be a guest, don't forget to contact us, and we will look for space to make you a guest, because we are booked for this year, guys. We are booked for this year till February next year. But we can always make space for you because you are special. So please like, share, comment, and make sure you invite somebody to watch this video so the person can be edified. Thank you. This was Harvest Hero podcast, and have an amazing day. Thank you, guys. Goodbye.
They are the heartbeat of the earth, the hands that